What is up, Cahir Club, and a warm welcome back to another CahirLIVE live stream. How goes it? I hope everybody's had a great start to their week. Obviously, it hasn't been that long since the last stream, but I hope everybody's been well. Hello, Brugger, and hello, Rob, as well. How goes it? How goes it? I hope you've been well. Yeah, things have been pretty solid in this corner. I had a nice chill day. And now we be streaming. Yeah, today we are back with the Minccino Shiny Hunt. Basically, at the beginning of Pokemon Black and White, in that little intro screen, the Welcome to the World of Pokemon screen, that Minccino can be shiny, so we are shiny hunting it. Honestly, I think I'm going to leap right into it. I forgot. I didn't forget anything, though. There's no forgetting here. My memory is actually flawless, you see. I'm incapable of forgetting anything these days. 3, 7, 3, 4. There we go. See, didn't forget anything at all. Alright. Now we're all... Now we're all up and ready. Mango, hello, how goes it? I hope you've been well. Alright. Yeah, we're ready now. Bada bing, bada boom. I've not minimized the window capture. No scuff today. Alright. What would a stream be without a bit of scuff anyway? But yeah, hello Mango, I hope your week has gotten off to a good start. We are shiny hunting again today. It's funny to be done with Black and White, but not be done with Black and White, because obviously we got Black and White in other corners of the streams. Streams. Another hunt that's been going on for a while. Obviously, we cleaned up our Dunsparce last week, which is very exciting. I'd be surprised if we got like a double, a back-to-back long hunt completion. Not gonna... Maybe. That's what I'm trying to say. You've been trying to maybe fix some sleep things. Ah, your bed broke. So you just splurged and bought yourself one of those metal replica Pokeballs. You got the Quick Ball. Oh, hell yeah, that's very fun. Do send a pic when it arrives. That sounds very cool. I've not got anything quite like that, but for Christmas one year, a friend of mine, Platt, got me like one of those glass Pokeballs with like a wireframe Pokemon in the middle. It was Eevee, and then you like flick the switch to turn it on, and it like illuminates it in the night, and it is very nice. It's very cool. What are you catching? What are you gonna catch with it, Rob? You're catching floofs. Ah, understandable. Understandable. That sounds wicked. It is. It's very cool. Maybe I will send a pic of my own to the Discord. It's currently with like all my other Pokemon stuff, which is a few plushes. All right. Oh, Cat is in the area. Cat is in the petting zone. You know, she has walked close enough for me to give her a pat on her little head, on her little stinky head, and so has been done. Oh, save file corruption already. You love to see it. You love to see it. I don't know if that actually gives us luck. Maybe it's just like the Tofu Tower, in that when we finally get that, our luck actually increases. Because clearly, stacking the Tofu into a tower gave us luck. Because we got the Dunsparce with the Tofu Tower. Uh-oh, Stinky. Indeed. She is very smelly. But I guess that's just how it is with cats, you know. They're a bit stinky. Alright, I'm expecting to almost reach 4K today. I don't think we'll quite get there, but I think we will get close, at the least. So that's exciting. 4K is a rather large number, obviously. The smelly smell, indeed. But yeah, it's funny being able to tag Gen 5 now, because like For a while, I've been putting, like, Gen 5 remakes and will Gen 5 get remakes and tags and stuff when I'm playing Black and White. But now it's funny to put, why did Game Freak forget Black and White? Did Game Freak not making Black and White stuff like that in the tags? I just find it funny. I don't know, the thing I found really funny was, people acting like Kyurem is upset that didn't get another game. Kyurem got another game. Kyurem got 2 games, in fact. Kyurem is one of only... Okay, there are a few Pokemon to have multiple games under their belts, but Kyurem is in the minority of Pokemon with, like, multiple games, in that it's got Black 2 and White 2. It's the mascot of both of them. Zygarde has nothing. I'll be interested to see if Kyurem actually ends up being the mascot of a Unova Legends game. Because obviously Legends Arceus' mascot was Arceus. Pokemon that hadn't been the mascot of a game before. Legends Zeta A, I mean, maybe it won't just be Zygarde, because there is that, the A is textured interestingly. But I feel like Zygarde's going to be at least one of the main mascots of Zeta A. So, what's it called? I'll be interested to see if a Legends game set in Unova would put Kyurem at the forefront. Because to be fair, it could put Kyurem to the forefront, because it'd be Kyurem's complete form. It would be complete Kyurem that would be, like, mascotting it, I'd assume. That would be repping the game. Would make a lot of sense. Also, I saw some people pointing out something interesting that happened in the trailer. Basically, the camera starts off following Talonflame. But by the end, the Talonflame's a fletchling, and it does become a Fletchinder halfway through. So, some people are obviously theorizing that there's going to be a time travel element due to this. But I'd say it's either that or maybe an indication that this game's going to take place in the past. Because hear me out, the Lumiose we see is the Lumiose of the present. So we go through it, we follow the Talonflame becomes a fletchling. Signifying that the game is going back in time. As in, like, well, not going back in time, signifying, like, the setting of the game is maybe at the beginning of the construction of Lumiose to become, with the redevelopment of Lumiose to become what it is in the blueprints. If that makes sense, that's how I'm reading it. That's how I think, that's what I think it might mean. Because I know a lot of people are very, very adamant there's going to be, like, time travel. But X and Y as games seem very weird to, like, include time travel in that way on, you know? Like, if it were a Johto game, I could see time travel being, like, a heavy element, because it makes sense if it were a Legends game centered on Celebi. Time travel. You know, like that guy in the box does. But yeah, like, I can hit game 5D chess with time travel. Yeah, no, exactly like that. Exactly like that. But yeah, like, if there was going to be time travel in a game set in Kalos, they would need to introduce a new facet to the game to justify why you can time travel. If that makes sense. Like in Legends Arceus, it was simple. Arceus, God, yanked you back in time. Additionally, there were a bunch of time-space distortions everywhere that were yanking Pokemon from their actual time periods. Wait, I got the name wrong. It's 5D chess with multi-dimensional time travel. It is. That's a good point. I can't believe you'd make such a fatal blunder, Mango. But yeah, like, as I was saying, while I could see argument to the game being set in the future, like, I can see where arguments for the game being set in the future, I can see where they're coming from, you know? I don't agree with them all that much, but I'm very much at the point where we don't know enough. All we've seen are the blueprints of Lumio City from X and Y. We don't know, like, so far I'd say, I would have loved a bit more love for Johto, for your favourite Gen and Lugia being a favourite legendary. So being able to explore Whirl Islands and maybe undersea trenches would be awesome. That is true, that is a good point. Alright, yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like if we get diving mechanics back, we'd get diving mechanics back in a Gen 3 Legends game, if that makes sense. Like, it'd be cool to, like, the Whirl Islands would definitely have to make some kind of appearance in a Legends game set in Johto. Like, that's a given. But I feel like if we're going to get diving mechanics, it would either be in a Legends game set in Juniper, where we'd explore the Abyssal Ruins, or a Legends game, more likely, a Legends game set in Hoenn. Because there's a lot of, like, trenches and stuff in Hoenn, and obviously the only access point to Sutopolis in the games is via the underwater part. But it would be cool to see what the Whirl Islands might look like in, like, a proper, fully realized game rather than a grid-based one. Hopefully we do get a Legends game set in Johto soon. I feel like getting Legends Arceus alongside Gen 4 remakes is interesting to me, because immediately after we got Z to A alongside nothing. A Gen 6 game, not really on anyone's, like, list for... Not on anyone's list of expected, like, remakes and stuff. And also, like, without a remake. So my thought is, Legends Arceus came along when the fanbase were asking for Gen 4. We're asking for Gen 4 remakes, we're asking for more Gen 4 content. Gen 4 were the peak, the fanbase wanted that. We got Legends Arceus. We got Z to A. This isn't at a point where people are asking for it, but people had been asking for Z, for Pokemon Z. Pokemon fans, up until the Direct, were saying Pokemon Z should still exist. It's sad we never got Pokemon Z. That was like a sticking point in the fanbase, to the point where me and multiple other people jokingly referenced Pokemon Z in, like, reactions and, like, the build-up, being like, oh, we might get Pokemon Z, because, like, we weren't expecting it. It was a thing the fans wanted, but we didn't expect it to happen. So I feel like we are going to get a Pokemon Legends game set in Unova next, is my prediction. We will get a Legends game set in Unova next. But I think the theme with this, I think the theme with the Legends games is going to be giving fans content they're looking for. Because, like, look at Legends Arceus in other facets, you know? Like, the game story is a bit darker and stuff like that. Things Pokemon fans wanted. You know? So I'm wondering if Legends as, like, a series of... As like, a sub-series of the main series, is maybe gunning more for... doing, interesting things with the franchise that hasn't been done, taking experiments, taking risks, setting a game in the past, and letting Pokemon attack you. Setting a game entirely within Lumio City. Like, taking risks and doing interesting things with the franchise, which I think is desperately needed for Pokemon. Personally, I've never been, like, the kind of person to complain, like, oh, all the games are the same. Because, like, I find that they make... Like, it's a formula they've stuck to, and it's a formula that has consistently worked. Like, that's the fundamental thing I found with the Pokemon formula, is I've always found it to be a very functional one, and like, one that they've had enough variation where, like, I never really found it to be all that repetitive. I can see why people did, but I never found it to be all that repetitive. But I still think experimentation and new stuff in the franchise is needed, and Legends seems to be that outlet for that. But between getting Gen 4 content when people wanted Gen 4 content the most, and getting Pokemon Z, I think Legends games are going to focus around more like, trying to give the fans things that they want. So my bet for the next Legends game is a Black and White 3. I like, my hot take, my prediction, the next Legends game is going to be Pokemon Legends 3. It's a weird call, but I think it's going to be Pokemon Legends 3. It'll be the third Legends game, so that makes sense. And it'll be the third Black and White game, so that makes sense. You know? You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I might be entirely off the bat, but that's my prediction, is we'll be getting a game called Pokemon Legends 3. And it'll be 3 because it's Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem combining into one Pokemon and stuff like that. And maybe other, like, indications of 3 things coming into one. Like, maybe there was a third king. A third prince. You know, like, the 2 kings fought over Reshiram and Zekrom and split them into 2. Maybe it'll be about there being, like, a third king in the Legends. I don't think it'll be set in the time Reshiram and Zekrom split into 3. I think it'll be set between then and Black and White, is my take. But, like, maybe it'll introduce a third king to the mix, a third prince to the mix. But I think, my bet is it'll be Legends 3, and that'll be the Gen 5 Legends game. Anyway, all this to say, I'm not sure when we'd get a Gen 2 Legends game. This has been very long-winded, but basically what I'm trying to say is, I'll be interested to see when we actually get a Gen 2 Legends game, because, I feel like as of this point, it's not all that needed, if that makes sense. Gen 2 is Gold, Silver, Crystal, and it has Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and all of those are very loved games, and people aren't really clawing for more content of those like people were for Gen 6 and Gen 5, you know? Like, Gen 7, my beloved, I'd be surprised if we got a Gen 7 Legends game anytime soon as well, you know? Because, like, those games as is, people aren't really clawing for more content of those. Like, I'll be interested to see what Legends game comes after Gen 5. And honestly, by that point, assuming we get a Legends game for Gen 5 next generation, which might not happen, that's no guarantee, the generation after will be enough time since Gen 8, will be the same time since Gen 8 as this Legends game is from Gen 6, so a Gen 8 Legends game could feasibly be on the table. And that's another game that people were underwhelmed by, kind of like X and Y, so there's similarities there. But, what was it called? It'd be at least interesting to see what they'd do with a Gen 8 Legends game. But it honestly wouldn't surprise me if we get Legends games based on what they have actual ideas for, you know? Like, what words am I looking for here? If Game Freak went to the drawing, like, I could imagine a situation where Game Freak went to the drawing board and were like, we want to make a game set entirely within a city. And then got to Z to A through that. Because I think Lumiose is the only real city that you could make into a full-size city, into a full-size world of a game, and keep consistent with the games. Weird statement, I know, but, like, arguably Saffron and Goldenrod could work-ish, but, like, Saffron and Goldenrod, as cities are very, like, bare bones, you know? You'd have to entirely overhaul them. The, like, only real consistencies... In fact, Goldenrod doesn't really have all that many like, Goldenrod's main landmark is the radio tower, which is, like, off to the left, you know? Like, Goldenrod's radio tower is, like, just kind of off to the left. It's not really, like, a central landmark. It's a landmark, but it's not really all that central a one. Saffron's main landmark is Silphco, which is in the middle of the city. But other than that, I'd say, like, it's a very, like, grid kind of-y city. And I guess that wouldn't really lend for that interesting design if you wanted to, like, expand that to, like, a big scale. Again, if you wanted to make it an interesting city, you'd have to do a lot of tweaks, a lot of fiddling to, like, make it that way. And then, like, we'd move on to, say, Morval. Would you really want to make a Gen 3 game centered entirely around, like, a city in the middle of the mainland instead of, like, anywhere else? Like, there's more interesting things to do in Gen 3 than make a game set entirely within one city. Also, like, Morval, there's two separate forms. Number one, the Gen 3 form, which is more or less like a straight through the middle. Like, Morval is not one of the biggest towns in Gen 3. It's more or less just like a straight through the middle of a pass-through town. What was it called? Yes, like, Morval's then second form is the Mallville, where they kind of make it look like a mall, and expanding that into a big city I think would be, like, a challenge, because it's all indoors and stuff, and, like, also might really not scratch the itch they're wanting to scratch. Jubilife City, I'd say, is off the table, because they've already reimagined Jubilife City as Jubilife Village, which then moves us on to Gen 5, which is the first time we get a proper big city, which, of course, is Castelia City, but Castelia City is, like, a city, it's kind of known for its beachfront walkway, and then, like, 3 main big streets, and then, like, the central park of Castelia City is, like, through a sewers and stuff like that. Like, you'd need to rebuild Castelia City pretty heavily to make it into something, to make it into, like, one game, to make it into, like, a game map. To make the whole city into the whole game, you need to do a lot of overhauling. Which brings us to Lumiose, which I think is the most recognizable city in Pokemon. I think since Jubilife, the Pokemon Company was slowly crawling towards a big center hub that they wanted to make. Like, is my hot take. Like, I think ever since Jubilife, they wanted, like, a huge, sprawling cityscape. They started scratching that itch with Castelia, because Castelia has so much content. And then I think they nailed it in Lumiose. And you can tell they nailed it in Lumiose, because the only other big city thing that we got after that was Morval City. We didn't get one in, what was it called? We didn't get one in Sun and Moon. In Galar we got a few, but they weren't as sprawling and dense and in depth as, like, Lumiose. The closest thing we got from that was Mesa Goza, but Mesa Goza isn't really the focus as much as its school is. Lumiose, I think, is where they peaked with their idea of having a big central city with loads to do in it. And you can tell that they really wanted it to be that because of how many times you go back to Lumiose. Like, you're constantly going through Lumiose specifically, which is funny. I'd say most likely. I'm not sure if it does need a real city. More like fitting locations, which might mean we get, Ore Region and Colosseum. I mean, I'm saying that's this for specifically Z to A. Like, maybe we will get an Ore Region one, but I'd say the issue with that is, you have to wonder how much Colosseum is known within the fanbase compared to, like, the fringes of the fanbase, if that makes sense. Like, I wonder how much Revisit to Colosseum is one, like, would be a profitable endeavor in comparison to, say, like, how people within the fanbase feel about Colosseum, if that makes sense. Like, I'd be interested to see if we got a Legends game set in Ore, because A, it's a spin-off, And B, it was never, like, a generational region. But I guess we'll see. It could always end up surprising us. Well, they could always end up surprising us. Because it feels like Legends, as, like, a series, has been them trying to keep us on our... Like, Legends as a series, so far, has kept us firmly on our toes, is what I mean. Like, we've never really expected things to come out. Now, I realize it's more of a long shot, but it puts the idea on the table with this line of games. Maybe? But yeah, basically what I was trying to say was, I think Lumiose is the only real city, was the only city in Pokemon where they could make it into the whole game and keep it as recognizable as it is in its original game. You know? Like, you don't have to overhaul Lumiose City because, like, you can just more or less increase its size 100-fold and just add, like, loads of little interior bits to it. Like, which is probably what they're gonna do, you know? Keeps it nice and recognizable. And that's what makes me, like, yeah, I'm excited for a game set entirely within a city. But I wonder if the conversation around Zeta A started with them wanting to set a game entirely within one city, and then landing on Paris, Lumiose City, as the place to do that. What have I done? As the place to do that in? I don't know what I did there. I didn't go up 2 encounters by accident, right? Probably not. I mean, I probably will have gone that at some point. But yeah, Zeta A excites me. I'm looking forward to seeing more. But I feel like that's become clear due to the sheer amount of talking about Zeta A that I've done over the past 3 streams. Like, I have not shut up about these games. And I'm not all that sorry about it, either. Alright. But yeah, I think it would make more sense for a game set within multiple periods to be Johto. I'd be interested to see how they do it, specifically, but I guess, to be fair, a game set within an entire city, Johto could be a decent game to do that, could have been a decent game to do that with, because I feel like it would have been a very good way to do the classic Pokemon storyline of tradition versus progress. Because that is, like, one they like a lot, and I'm guessing it's one that's going to be brought up within Zeta A, is tradition versus progress. Because it's a concept they're a big fan of. But I'd be surprised if time travel ended up being a part of Zeta A, because there'd have to be a specific way to introduce the concept, if that makes sense. Like, X and Y as games are some of the least time travel-oriented games in the franchise. Even though it was pretty much nothing trailer, it does put more ideas on the table for the future, so there's a lot to talk about. Indeed, indeed. It was more or less just an announcement trailer, and I think that's all they really needed. All they really wanted to do was announce the game. Like, it'll be very interesting to see when we actually start getting content for the games. Like actual trailers for the games. Again, my prediction is September time. I don't think we're going to get... I reset on the new game screen. I don't think we're going to get a Whoa, Rosie and Mr. Me, hello, how goes it? I hope your weeks have gotten off to good starts. We're continuing on with the Minccino shiny hunt. We are a long way into it at the moment, which is exciting, I think. The Princess Peach game comes out soon. Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? I don't know if I'll end up picking it up myself, but I hope you, I hope everybody who does, assumably you, included in that group, enjoy it. There's a Peach game, yeah, Princess Peach's Showtime, I think it is. Obviously centering in on Princess Peach. Does she save Mario? Not in this one. In the first Princess Peach game, she saves Mario. But in the new one, it seems to be more of a solo adventure. I've not kept all that much up with the promotional material, but it seems pretty cool. Alright. But yeah, just before we were talking about Legends, I'm very what's it called? The brain. My brain. Excited for Legends. Have I played the new 2D Mario game? As in, like, the new Super Mario Bros. Series? I guess that's not that new these days, though, is it? Kinda more of an old one, huh? Almost 20 years ago, the new Super Mario Bros. Came out. What's it called? What words am I looking for? I played the new I played New Super Mario Bros. And New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I have not played Wonder, however. The Wonder one, yeah, no, I've not played Wonder. Again, it seems fun, but I don't know, like, Mario has never really been a franchise I've been explicitly interested in, as much as it often innovates in a way that interests me. If that makes sense. Like, it's never really been a franchise that I've been, like, eager to own every game from, as much as games that interest me will often pop up. You know? Mario's your childhood? That's understandable. Mine was Pokemon, as is probably obvious. Yeah, I'd say the only, like, Mario game that I'm more or less certain to pick up is, like, a new Mario Kart on a system. Just because Mario Kart. Love a good bit of Mario Kart. It is a very close. Yours was Pokemon in the late years of your childhood. Your first game is Moon. Ah, understandable. So that's nice. That's nice that you that you got Lunala. Yeah, no, my first game was Diamond. So did I get Mario Kart after Pokemon? I'm not sure. Not really sure about the order of games as I got them. It's nice that the 3DS tells you when you first played a video game, because, like, it kind of, like, helps you understand, like, when you got what was it called? Yeah, 3DS tells you when you first played a game, and that is a very useful, very useful bit of information. You collect every Pokemon game, but your first one was Black and White 2. Interesting. That is a very interesting one to start off on. Being as it is a sequel. Yeah, no, Black and White 2 was actually the only game I missed since Diamond and Pearl, if that makes sense. So, like, I got Diamond and Pearl, I got Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I got Black and White, didn't get Black and White 2, and then I got, Y, and then I got White 2. Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, yada yada. Brendan, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. Did I used to get both versions of the gen? No, I didn't. The only like pair of games I have is Sun and Moon. Because Sun and Moon enamored me when they first came out, and Gen 7 is still my favorite. I don't know why Sun and Moon hit me so hard, but they did. Like, Diamond, I was like, yeah, you know? And to be fair, I did play Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I guess, well, yeah, no, my, like, in my household, I guess I'm gonna phrase it as, there's Diamond and Pearl, because my sister... When Diamond and Pearl first came out, me and my sister both really wanted the games. So my parents got us Pokemon Pearl for Christmas to share. My sister didn't share it, and then she lost it. And I was upset at that, so she got me Diamond. Then we found Pokemon Pearl later on. We also have both Black 2 and White 2, because I got my father to buy Black 2, because I wanted to play it with him one time. Abercrombie, it won't stop going. He keeps on going to get that shiny chinchilla. And will it appear, or what if it disappears? Who knows? That's why we have the terrific tiger, indeed. Welcome to the stream, Abercrombie. I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. Hopefully we do get the chinchilla soon. It would be funny if we got it this stream, seeing as we got the Dunsparce last stream. You have both Scarlet and Violet. You want to start getting both versions with every new gen. That's fair. I don't know. Personally, like, I'm fine with just, like, one game or the other. It started well, finally got the highest level caster in Clash of Empires after only 3 months of grinding for resources. Yo, congratulations. You have all the versions up to Auraz, so that's a thing now. Understandable. But you tend to pick up that second version for cheaper, right? You tend to wait. Oh wait, no, you don't have all the BDSP, you probably won't buy that. That's fair. I can't state that. You need to get every shiny. Oh, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Especially since, what's it called? Games like Scarlet and Violet, obviously, you can't breed a lot of the shinies. A lot of the version exclusive shinies. Right. But yeah, what's it called? Yeah, so technically, I do have, like, Diamond and Pearl, Black 2 and White 2, and then Sun and Moon. But Pearl and Black 2 are in my father's possession. Oh, wait, no it isn't. We probably sold Pearl. Never mind. I don't have Diamond. I don't know why I forgot that. When I started secondary school, I sold all my Pokemon games because I decided I'd grown out of Pokemon, and then I regretted it. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that I might have regretted that. I still have Heart Gold, because obviously they didn't buy it without the Pokewalker. You hate breeding in Gen 9? Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Yes, they had an awful night, and you're trying your best to redeem yourself, piece by piece. It's been shattered from a trail. Oh no, that is not good at all. But yeah, no. Good on you for getting back up. I'm sure things will get better. Alright. 400 plus eggs for Wooloo. That's a large portion of eggs. Best of luck. Hopefully you nab it soon. The music just paused immediately. Alright. Only 2 more days of work, then you're free. Ooh, best of luck, best of luck. You got anything planned with the holiday, or you just taking a few days off? Right. Hell yeah, Heart Gold is the best one, then Soul Silver. However, Lugia has the perfect title with 2 SS. I wanted Soul Silver initially. It's funny, I've got a funny story. I used to collect this magazine called Pokemon World, which was like an unlicensed Pokemon magazine. Later they branched into like other things, and I didn't like it when that happened. But back when it was Pokemon World, obviously Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out about a year before... Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out about a year before... Yeah, they came out about a year before. And I was under the impression the games were already out. For that reason. So I asked for Soul Silver for Christmas. So my parents sat me down a few weeks later. Cahir, it looks like the games aren't out yet. They don't come out for a while, so Santa can't bring them to you, unfortunately. You're gonna have to ask for someone else. So, that is what happened. And, but in the end, when Heart Gold and Soul Silver did come out, I remember it. It was a school day, and I just finished school, and I got into the car, and there, like, waiting on the seat was the Heart Gold Soul Silver walkthrough guide, a copy of Pokemon Heart Gold, and a brand new DS case with a bunch of Pokemon styluses, DS styluses. Like, it wasn't even my birthday or anything. I don't even think there was any specific event. But my mother had just gotten, like, a load of stuff for the games, which was incredibly exciting for little Cahir. Alright. You're playing the shit out of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Hell yeah, Boo SS is better because Lugia. Nah, you frickin' Trip in Buster? I remember when I walked into Asda before a uni day and bought it then. Dude, no, I have those memories now. I have similar memories now. I remember I got up early for a college day that normally started at about 1 PM to pick up a copy of Ultra Sun. And I like played it in the in one of the college like cafe areas as a what was it called? Gallery of friends stayed with me every period as I was playing through. As I began my playthrough, and then Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Was it after a school day? It might have been a free day actually. I remember holding the copy of the game at the station. Sword and Shield, I went with a friend to get. We started off in Starbucks, and I remember being like really excited to see all the new Pokemon. I can't read Abercrombie's responses, it's only in my chat. Oh, that's a good point! Rob is... The beef, cannot happen. Go back to check on your food. Understandable, best of luck checking on food. But yeah, and then the other thing I remember, BDSP 2 days before the release day, my manager came up to me, Cahir, we need extra hands on deck on Friday. Can you, like, do extra time? No, I've got, family issues. No, I'm seeing family. It's a family event. I can't do overtime that day. And obviously that was the first game I streamed on release, was, Brilliant Diamond. And I got my Animal Crossing controller that day as well. I was, planning. My family on Pokemon, that is. They need me, exactly. When did I start streaming? I started streaming in January 2021. Abercrombie. I'm not. I assume you're away for it. But Rob has pointed out that he cannot see any of your messages except for in the chat, except for in the live chat, except for on screen. You might be beefing with him, but he can't hear you. But yeah, I started streaming Minecraft. I started streaming Pokemon in 2022. It was about, like, April time I first started, I believe. And I first started on Twitch, and then I switched to YouTube. That is the Cahir lore. See no evil, hear no evil, and all that jazz. But, yeah, no, BDSP were the first games I streamed. I remember I spent multiple hours looking for Krogunk in the Grand Underground. And yeah, I remember, what's it called? I remember going into game, after my shift. And then but like, so, my shift ended more or less 20-ish minutes before the train would leave, which was fine on, like, any other day. It meant I waited at the station for ages. But to walk into town centre and back again proved an issue. I might not have enough time to do that. So, in-game, I was bricking myself because I knew I'd have to go to Sex to get... No, I wanted to get a Pro Controller. I wanted to get a second-hand Pro Controller because it'd be cheaper than the 40 quid, so I wouldn't have to spend as much. So I wanted to get a second-hand Pro Controller to play the game on stream. But then I saw that there was an Animal Crossing wired controller for 20 quid in-game. So that was a nice lifesaver. Oh, and Scarlet and Violet's a funny one. Some of you might actually remember this one, which is nice. In fact, I think it'd only be Rob at this current point. What's it called? I said stream was going to start at about 1 PM, but it started about an hour later. Because I went to get the game, I got the game, and then I went to Morrison's to go and get snacks. But Morrison's was like a decent trek away from game. Like, I had to go, like, quite away from game to get to Morrison's. Obviously, I spent a decent time in Morrison's getting snacks. So then when I was going back to the station, I was, like, kind of, like, going as quick as possible up the road. And then I saw the train pull in and leave without me. So I decided, instead, that I was going to get the bus. A bus that dropped me off in the centre of the town where I live. about 20 minutes away from my house. Oh, was the train delayed? Or was I... Oh, do you mean notifying that the stream was going to be delayed? I remember that I missed the train. I didn't remember it being delayed after that. I remember in the end... The stream, oh, yeah. You know, in the end, basically, if I'd waited for the next train, I would have been back home quicker than if I'd taken the bus, which was funny. That was the bit I was getting to. And it also meant that I wouldn't have to, like, walk from my town centre to my house with a very full bag that fell apart halfway down the road. Like, I got off the bus, started walking down the road, and the bag fell apart. So I had to carry it. Alright. You're working, but I'd got like 4 hours in before I got on. Yeah. I don't know, like, that's why I like physical copies of video games. That's another big reason why I like physical copies of video games. Because you form more memories with those, you know? Like, if I just downloaded Scarlet and Violet, like, none of that would have happened and I wouldn't have a funny story to tell about it, you know? Like, online shopping, I think, is, like, a good thing, because it does make things easier. But the way it's very much killed... that and digital downloadable media, I think, has still kind of killed a bit of the joy in buying stuff. You know? Because I find that there is actual fun in going into town to pick up a new copy of a video game. That is a thing I find a lot of joy in, you know? Because, like, even today, when I get a new video game, there's still, like, that kind of, like, giddiness of holding it in your hand at the station and reading the back of the box. I don't know if, like, anyone else gets that, or if that's just me. But when I physically buy a video game, there's still that bit of excitement in having it. Hey, welcome to the stream, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. Almost got Victory Royale, fair, better luck next time. Except game shops hardly exist now. That's the other big issue, though. That you're, like, very much right. But that is, like, the big issue I find with it. That, like, that's kind of what I'm complaining about, you know? Like, I hope I'm not, like, subtly doxing myself with this, because I don't know how widespread this is. But my game merged with my Sports Direct a couple of years ago. Like, if I want to go to game now, I have to go to Sports Direct. Like, game shops are dying. Because so many people just take digital these days. I think all of them did. It would make sense, to be fair. But yeah, like, and it's sad. Again, it's sad. Because, like, there is... I find a lot of genuine joy in going to get a video game. Or GameStops in your area are gone. Yeah, exactly. Like, I have so many memories of going to the store to get a video game. I don't remember what it was like buying Tears of the Kingdom. You know? Like, I don't remember like, buying Tears of the Kingdom. I remember buckling and buying it earlier than... Yeah, I remember buckling and buying it earlier. Because, originally I was gonna get it for my birthday, and then I realized I wanted to play it then. But, like, there's no, like, trip that I went on to get it. It just arrived the next day, because I ordered it on Amazon, you know? Like, I no longer, like, I have memories of, like, first playing the games. You know, like, I have the memories of first playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is the only game I got digitally, because I pulled an all-nighter playing it, you know, and I remember that. But there's no real excitement in, like, me just downloading the game. Yeah. I mean, thing is, you can buy it cheaper online anyway. Why'd you have travel costs to go in and pick it up in person when it's cheaper to get it in the post? You make a good point, but still, I prefer that feeling of going into town to get the game, you know? Like, that is an exciting... I love doing it. It's a part of the process I greatly enjoy. Oh, wait, no, I remember why I do it. I remember the other reason why I do it. I think it's a genuinely exciting process, but also if I go into town to get it, it means I have a lot more control of when I get the game. Pokemon Sun is the one Pokemon game I ordered online, and it arrived a day late, which was devastating because obviously Sun and Moon released a week later in the UK than like America and stuff. So I was already having to avoid spoilers everywhere. I knew Team Rocket teamed up with the 8th Foundation. I knew Lusamine fused with it a hell ago. I was getting spoiled so much, and I was genuinely gutted. And having to wait that extra day, I was fucking devastated. And I get that nowadays that wouldn't be as big of an issue. But still, like, I'd rather go up and pick it up myself so I can guarantee I'm going to get it when I want to get it. And if I end up missing the train and getting back an hour later than intended, that's on me. You know, that's a my fault thing. That was in my control. Rather than just having to wait for the postal service. Like, I prefer that level of control when it's a game I'm very, very excited for. Would rather not risk it. Although it's not all that big of a risk these days with second day delivery and stuff like that. But, I totally get it. Well, no, I totally get you. I was just saying it makes more sense to not go, considering it would either be cheaper online now, either physically or digitally. You still love going to the shop and picking up a weird thing. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. You can also pick up snacks when you do that, which I think is fun, you know? There's a good bit of joy picking up some snacks and, snacks. You can get snacks. Snacks are nice. Yeah, I think I'll definitely try to get physically go to get games as much as I can. Until it becomes like an undoable option. Because it feels like these days we are moving closer and closer to digital media, which... Yeah, I don't know. I don't like digital media. It's like thank you for having me here, and enjoy your good vibes with everyone. See you and have a great day, dude. Thank you, Abercremie. I hope you have a great rest of your day as well, and a great rest of your week as well. But yeah, like digital media is useful, you know, like, it means you can get a game at midnight on release, and it'll be straight in your hand. Like, you can spend a bit of dough on you can spend a bit of dough on, like, an SD card, and then, like, you can put, like, many games on it, and you can just download them on a whim when you feel like it. But I think that there's nothing, like... There's a satisfying feeling in putting a new game cartridge in. There's a sats... Missy, stop scrounging. Missy, stop scrounging. Don't come back. Stop. Stop eating crumbs, you weirdo. Still here, by the way, just hunting Wooloo. No worries, dude. No need to justify your lurking or anything like that. Alright. 1/4 of the way to 2k. I mean, not quite. It's more like, 5/8, I think? Yeah, 5/8. I know what you're trying to say. Alright. Yeah, I only buy digital when it's ridiculously cheap or don't care so much about it. But you don't technically own it. I don't know, like... How do I say this? I guess maybe you... I don't know. Like, you kind of do. Is what I'm trying to say, you know? Like... Because, like, it's downloaded onto your system. As long as it's on the SD card. But then again, I guess on, like, a Nintendo thing, it's linked to the account, isn't it? So if you have the account disconnected or severed, then you wouldn't be able to play it anymore, right? Like, if you buy a game on your system, and then have another account on your system, can you still play that game on the other account? Or is it only the account that bought it that can play the game? Although then again, no, I think it can just be ripped away from you if the companies like stop the service, right? I don't know. I was just wondering about that the other day. Only the account that bought it. Okay, yeah, then yeah. But yeah, like then yeah, no, it's not great at all. Which is like which is just why it's a shame that like, but like every facet of the thing that digital media overtaking physical media is like sad for, like, from multiple angles, you know, just of like the joy and whimsy of physical media to the point that you no longer really own what you're buying. Like, it's just a bunch of downsides for the convenience. Which just feels like that's kind of, in general, where we as a species are going. Taking multiple, like, shots in the foot. Specifically because it makes things more convenient, you know? But I feel like maybe that kind of rant isn't necessary for a VTuber on livestream. But yeah, no, I will try to get, even if it's ordered online, I'll always try to get like a physical copy of games, you know? I'd much rather having it physically. Eventually it's just going to be a code in a box, which some games already do. Exactly! There just are games that do that. There's like a whole shelf at my local game, Sports Direct, that are just like code inside. And it's like, why would I buy this then? Like, the only reason you'd buy that is for, like, your kid, I guess? Which I suppose is probably why it's done, right? For, like, kids. Not for kids, but, like, for grandparents and parents and stuff, being like, I want to get my child a video game. This one looks fun. Because they're not going to know to, like, browse the online store. Well, they might know to browse the online store. I'm sure a lot more parents do these days, but, like, obviously it's easier to see a video game on a shelf and buy it than be expected to have an encyclopedic knowledge of everything on the Nintendo eShop. But Yeah, no, like... I think the death of physical media is something that is... I feel like its absence is going to be noticed a lot more in the coming years. Like... Yeah, I think its absence is going to be a lot more noticeable in the coming years. And yeah, and then there's some that don't have the full game anymore. Needs like a patch to work well enough. And what happens when you can't download said patch? Exactly. Like, for now, the 3DS is still letting you update games when you, like, buy a new one, but there will definitely come a day when those surely there will come a day when those services don't work anymore, right? Like, I'd be surprised if, like, that doesn't happen at all, where, like, a day comes around where you can't just, where, like, where those servers shut down. Which, again, will, like, be a not great thing. All of a sudden, like, DLC and stuff for niche video games will more or less just become lost media. Because you can't get it anymore. In fact, that's already kind of happened on the 3DS. I also don't like on the 3DS, you can't log into multiple 3DSs from one account. Wait, really? Huh. I guess I never really had enough 3DSs to have that issue, but that is peculiar. Alright. But yeah, like, I don't know, DVDs are like the other big thing, you know? Like, I try to, like, watch things on DVD every now and again. I've not bought a DVD in a while, to be fair, but I try to watch things on DVD every now and again. And, like, part of that's because, like, in my house, we have, like, okay, firstly we have, like, a giant bookshelf. It's like an enormous bookshelf. About 2 meters long. Maybe, like, 1.5 meters high. How big's a room? No. No, I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. 3 meters high, 6 meters long. I'm just shit with scale. Eyeballing scale, not my strong suit. I don't know how fucking long a meter is. 6 meters sounds wrong as well. It's big. It's a big bookshelf. That's what I'm saying. The bookshelf, large. But we have, like, one shelf. Like, one, like, portion of the bookshelf, more or less entirely dedicated to DVDs. And we just have so many DVDs and stuff. But, like, nowadays it's all on Netflix and stuff. If you try to log into a second one, it asks you to make this 3DS your new one rather than transfer data in order to work. Huh. That is weird. But yeah, like, DVDs I feel like they're a good thing to have because it means you physically own the movie. Like, these days people are just browsing on streaming services and shit. But I find it interesting. Like, you have to wonder, I bet there's going to be a point that, like, things snap, and then DVD sales start going up again. On the proviso that DVDs aren't, like, entirely gone from stores by that point, now that I think about it. Because obviously if DVDs are, like, entirely gone from stores, then you can't buy DVDs. But, like, what's it called? Office box sets, like, box sets of The Office sold really well I feel like The Office isn't as big. I think it was like early 2020s. Box sets of The Office sold really well because it kept on bouncing streaming services. Like, it kept on bouncing from streaming service to streaming service. So, I just reset over the Game Freak screen. Yeah, box sets of The Office sold really well because they kept on bouncing from streaming service to streaming service. So people just gave up and just bought The Office. How's the hunt going? Oh, well, it's going as well as it was earlier. No Minccinos yet. But we are almost at 4K, which is exciting. That's obviously half odds. So that'll be fun to get to. But yeah, we're talking about how physical media is a dying thing, and that's probably not a good thing. Maybe I should buy some DVDs of movies I liked over the last few years. That seems like a wise idea to me, honestly. I don't know, there used to be like Christmas time. My family used to have like one gift that was about 4 DVDs. Yeah, it was about 4 DVDs. Maybe even more. Like, maybe even like a couple more, maybe even like 6 or 7 DVDs. Just of like movies that we'd either seen in cinema and enjoyed, or movies that we thought might be enjoyable for the family to watch. And like that was like a Christmas tradition, but these days it's just kind of not a thing anymore, because obviously like, if we want to watch a movie, it's on Netflix. Any hints for the next series? I actually announced it at the end of last stream. Shall I say it, or do you want to keep guessing for Wednesday? Alright. But yeah, maybe I'll buy some DVDs soon. That could be fun. I'll check on Amazon. Give you a hint. So I've already said it's not a game that, I've already said it's not a game that I've played on stream. On YouTube. Because it is a game I played on stream, but it's not a game I played on stream on YouTube. You can't find it on the CahirLIVE YouTube channel. Hints are hard. Time to go through my, go trolling through my playlists. I'm gonna be honest, the Cahir playlist is severely underprepared. I do not have as many series playlisted as I ought to. I should probably go through at some point and like make a playlist for every series that doesn't have one. I think the only playlist there is that is continuously updated is the shiny hunting one, which should be up to date. I just clicked off the calculator. But that was a hint I had already given. Oh, so that won't narrow it down. Yeah, not unless you just scroll through all of my videos, which it sounds like a much more painful task. To scroll through... What is it at this point? Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years of consistent live streams. Trying to figure out how specific of a hint I want to give. Like, do I want to give a hint that... Do I want to give a hint that, that, like, makes it... Like, how obvious of a hint do I want it to be? Hey, Rob, can I outsource the hint to you? No. Yeah, sure. Oh, I was kidding. I was kidding. If you would rather not do the hint, then. Trust me, I've done more tedious things than just 2 years. I mean, yeah, no, that is fair. But I think what's it called? I feel like this specific one would be more of a waste of time than just shiny hunting. Alright. Thank you, Rob. I will wait till he hint. Alright. At this point, I will tell you if you're right or wrong, just because it's already known. Is it Sword? Sword with only G is a series that was done only a couple of things ago, I believe, as a series that passed over the new year. XY I did a hardcore Nuzlocke of, in, what's it called? Yeah, XY I did a hardcore Nuzlocke of, or as I did the red only playthrough of, which I actually have a video up of that. I'd highly recommend watching it. It's one of my only, like, series videos. I might do one of those for Sword and Shield. Legends, ding ding ding, that's correct, that's the one. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, because now Rob doesn't get to put a hint. I guess we can see stream delay by how long it takes Brendan to stop guessing. I'm sorry, Rob, I should have thought when I said yes, it's that one. I should have said no, let Rob do his hint. I apologize. Oh wait, no, I don't think you processed it, Rob, you can still do your hint. Never mind. I think he's just about a minute behind. Alright. Where's the cat? She is once again orbiting my seat. Give us the hint anyway. If you've got one, if you're still thinking, then I guess. Unless you want to still think of the hint. Right. That's my microphone. Not my drink. Love a good bit of hydration. Make sure you're all staying hydrated as well. Alright. There we go. The lid's a bit scuffed. It also leaked when I actually took it out and about one time. Which is concerning, but like... I don't know, I'm inclined to not be that pissed off about it just because, like, I don't really use it outside. The answer is found the unknown. I guess that does narrow it down quite nicely, because there aren't that many games with unknown in. That would be a funny hint to give for, like, Auras, because you can get unknown in Auras, but they're in, like, a Mirage Cave. Like, yes, unknown are in Auras. They're in a niche Mirage Cave. I wonder if unknown are going to be in, Zeta A. Because they were very heavily present in the trailers. And, like, if they use, like, the Patterrz catacombs as, like, an area in the games, there could be Unknown down there. Because Unknown aren't in X and Y. What games are Unknown even in? I feel like they're not in that many Pokedex. Oh, Unknown is spelt without a, K. Yeah, what Pokedex are Unknown actually in? Okay. Unknown are in the Johto Pokedex, they're in the Sinnoh Pokedex, and they're in the Sinnoh and Hisui Pokedex. Yeah, so Unknown are only in Johto and Sinnoh. They're only in Gold, Silver, Crystal, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Hisui, and Legends Arceus. Like, they can be caught in other games, but in terms of, like, actual Pokedex appearances, they don't have that many. Which is especially a shame, because Pokedexes tend to just repeat. You guys go and you're very busy tomorrow, so goodbye and good luck. Understandable, Brugro. I hope you have a good day tomorrow then. About half of the games. Well, that's 4. It's not half of the games, is it? Oh no, that's a third. That's a third. You're saying it's about a third of the games. Well, there are 9 generations and it's... I don't know, I feel like it's not that great of a... Not that great of, like, a reference. Not that great of a metric to judge it by. Because, yes, it's in half of the games, but, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart, Gold, and Soul Silver are all variations of the same game. Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl are all variations of the same game. So, like, really, it's 3 separate, entirely separate games. Arguably 2.5 if you buy into the Legends is a Diamond and Pearl remake theory, which I do. 3 different regions? 2.5. Because Hisui is Sinnoh. So, like, it makes sense that Unknown appeared in Hisui and Sinnoh. Even though some Pokemon didn't. So I'd say 2.5. If we're counting it like that. If we're counting it based on, like, where they actually appear. They do appear in the Sevi Isles. And Mirage Caves. And that's it. So it's only, like, so outside of the 2 regions they appear in, they only appear in Hoenn and the Sevi Isles. .75 then? Are we getting very, like, specific a bit about this, eh? But yeah, I know very niche. I don't know, I remember, Split Difference. Ah, I see. I remember, I had one of, I wasn't all that close with a friend. I knew one of those people, the rumor guys, who said he saw, a copy of Pokemon Grey, and Kyurem was, like, surrounded by Unknown in its new form. Which was funny, considering... Gestures vaguely to black and white. Felix, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. We are shiny hunting for Minccino today. I'm talking about how Unknown are very niche. They don't appear that much. But yeah, Brendan, to be clear, my next series is going to start on Wednesday, and it's going to be a Pokemon Legends Arceus playthrough, where I can only use well, not baby Pokemon, but Pokemon that, basic Pokemon. Pokemon that haven't evolved, but can evolve. So, Riolu, Rowlet, Chimchar, Croagunk, Stantler, but I wouldn't be allowed to use something like an Ursaring, because that's already evolved. So it will be interesting. I'm sure there will be some very nasty fights in it. Alright. We are very close to 3,900. Which I would flag as pretty cool. We will probably not get to 4K today, as I said. But, we will get to 4K next stream. Which does mean that, whoa, we'll be halfway there. Whoa, shitting on a chair. Oh, I just realised my cat's doing the thing where she's loafing. But she's fallen asleep. And put her head... She's fallen asleep, so like she can't hold her head up. Just checked, it can be caught in 5 out of 9 generations. You see, when you put it like that, it does sound common. But when you put it like... I guess a lot of the time, it's appeared in a new game. I don't know, I kind of stand by the whole unknown isn't as common as you'd think it be. Because it's very lore relevant. But most of the time, it's only catchable in remakes. Like, it can be caught in Gold, Silver, Crystal, it can be caught in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and it can be caught in Legends Arceus, but every other game it appears in is a remake. And Legends Arceus is kind of a remake as well. And that's not including transferring it in. I mean, I feel like you can't include transferring. I feel like that's... Like, then, like, most Pokemon appear in every generation. Like, there'd be a very select few that can be used in every game in that case. Like, Pikachu and Magnemite. Anyway, point being, Rob's hint, I feel like, points specifically towards, like, a very small subsect of games. Right. It's just for a Pokemon that feels very iconic. It's interesting to me how... Like, other iconic Pokemon like Riolu or Zorua, they appear in, like, most games. I didn't include the transferring in. It's possible to catch the unknown in 5 generations, 7 if you include the transfers. Again, I feel like transfers shouldn't be counted. Like, I'm unsure, like, what kind of argument you're trying to make at this point if you're trying to count transfers. Because I feel like at this point we're having different conversations. Alright. No brain, okay. Tried to form a thought. It became like putty in my hands and it left. Alright. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if Unknown appeared in like catacombs beneath Lumiose. Like, I do really wonder how big the Pokedex in Legend Z to A is going to be. Because, again, X and Y has the biggest Pokedex. Like, yeah, no, X and Y has the biggest Pokedex of any game. It's only Gen 8 and 9 that it's not possible to catch it in. Yeah, but I think you're looking at generations. When I feel like when you're doing that, you're, like, kind of dispersing your point. Especially when you count transferring. Like, in terms of, like, unknown as a Pokemon being, like, that common, it isn't all that common. It natively appears in 2 regions, Johto and Sinnoh, as well as Hisui in the past, but I'd count that as Sinnoh. But you kind of are, because you're saying it's possible to catch it in the generations you can track. I don't really know what this conversation... Well, I kind of do. I stand by it. Unknown for such a... Unknown feels like as a Pokemon so connected to the lore, it should be more present in the franchise. And yet it isn't. And I think that's interesting. I don't think my point's been invalidated at all. Cahir, what's your favourite unknown? Ooh. That's a hard one. I like V because it doesn't look like a V at all. Like, what the fuck is unknown V? Like, have you seen that guy? He's got, like, an ulcer on his head. Like, it's the eye, and then it's, like, a kind of weird triangle thing above it. That's not a V. It's not a V shape at all. That's funny. I do like question mark and exclamation mark, though. Because they just look very upset. Very, like, done, you know? They're not happy about what's going on. They're not very, like, but like, they're kind of like the special unknown, you know? Because they're an exclamation mark and a question mark. So I'm not sure how much I'd count them myself, you know? Or not count them myself. It feels very basic to be like, yeah, the 2 special ones are my favorite, you know? As opposed to being like, yeah, I like V, because it just doesn't look like one. I am thinking of V, right? Let me check unknown forms. Yeah, I'm thinking of V. No, wait. Yeah, no, I'm thinking of V. No, that's U. Is it? Where's V? Is this in order? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Oh, it is V. Yeah, U is actually a very nice one. I might go with U, actually. Because U's, like, smiling. V is funny, because it doesn't look like a V at all. But U kind of looks like he's a smiling little guy, and I like that a lot. I like the W or the C ones. Who cares if it's basic? Live how you want to live. I type while having Masquerain in my top 10 Pokemon. I mean, I feel like that would give you, like, more of a point, you know? Because you're, like, one of the niche Pokemon enjoyers, but you don't have, like, that level of superiority for it. You know? Like, you're not waltzing around being like, yeah, my favorite Pokemon is Masquerain. Bit of an underrated gem. Like, surely... Yeah. I feel like I keep falling into almost trying to debate people, and that's annoying. So, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, I think I'm changing my answer to Unknown U, because it looks like he's smiling. And I like that a lot. What's a better example? Using pink me because the blue ones are too common. Is that a... Do people do that? I just chose the color I liked with my me. Yeah. Do. Alright. But yeah, you do 'cause you like being special, and pink shows up less than light blue. I see. Understandable, I think. I'm surprised pink shows up less. I'd expect pink to still be a pretty common color, you know? I wonder what, like, the top 5 most common favorite colors are. Because I bet, like, blue and pink are both in there. Green's probably in there as well, to be fair. I think because there's a light and dark blue, so it blends in. Ah, fair. Alright. I'm at 3900. I'm gonna go to the toilet quickly, but I will be back real quick for the hunt to continue. So be sure to stay tuned, because who knows, we might get it today, or we might get it today. And we're back. Back again. With it's shiny hunting time. 3,900. We are only 100 away from 4K. 100 away from 4K. Poetry. Alright. I'm feeling a bit like, tired. So I'm gonna have some love hearts, you know? Put some sugar in me, some pure sugar. Reactivate my brain. It's a shame. I do love love hearts. Big fan of love hearts. But, if that Poundland, that fateful day, when I bought these, had Parma Violets, I would have got those instead. I love Parma Violets. Loads of people say Parma Violets taste like soap. Maybe I should start trying to eat soap, you know? You know? Because, like, Parma Violets tastes like soap. And I like Parma Violets. Surely I'd like soap if that's the case. And like soap, that's everywhere, you know? Like, I walk into a public bathroom. There's soap dispensers all over that place. I can just put some in my mouth. Simple. I'm gonna try sand. I could eat soap and sand. In fact, I could mix the soap and the sand and have them together. In some unholy matrimony. Some soap sand. I think that would be a great fusion, honestly. I should start a business. Entirely unrelated to everything spoken of before, I think, actually. Just like a vague statement, you know? Wait! I could sell sand. Oh. Hi. She's got opinions today. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Okay. I do not know why she has got so many thoughts. Maybe she's trying to give me business advice. I should do a business podcast. You know? I have no background in business. But I should start applying to trying to get like one of those business podcasts. And just talk about random shit on them, you know? Just like, go on a really long-winded tangent. Like, all you really need to do on those business podcasts is like, come up with one vaguely wise-sounding thing about hustling, and then you'll probably get into a YouTube short and you're like golden from there, you know? Like, you don't need to like know anything about business. You can just bullshit your way through and then say something like, if you want to get money, then get it. You know? I don't clip that. They'll clip that and put that on a short. Slap that shit on TikTok, and all the hustlers will be like, wow, that's so wise. You know? I think I could come up with like a nice YouTube short business quote. Wealth is like rain. No. No. I am like a dog. And money is water. If you put, like, and dogs don't like, they don't like bowls of water, no. They'll drink from a bowl of water if they need to. But you know what dogs love? Puddles. And that's where the money's at. Follow me for more business advice. Chinese proverb? Maybe. Yeah, no, I should say that's a Chinese proverb. Like, if I say something wise like that, you know? Like, the fucking business bros eat that shit up, don't they? It's from Sun Tzu's Fart of War. That quote. So wise. Oh, great, that would make it... I don't know, I might try a few new YouTube shorts, and by new YouTube shorts, I mean... new YouTube shorts. I don't know where I was going with that. Like, on one hand, I feel like I should keep clips around, because that kind of showcases what my content's like. But on the other hand, clips don't get that many views. The age-old dilemma. Right. Yep. I feel like the other thing, you know, I'm gonna stop talking about content. I should talk about other things. Mega Evolutions. I was gonna talk about Mega Evolutions today, but I didn't talk about Mega Evolutions. I'm interested to see what Mega Evolutions we're gonna get. I feel like the majority are gonna be from Gen 6, but obviously, like, I'm always thinking about Gen 7, so I'm gonna think about Gen 7 Megas. Delmise would be a cool one. Because Mega Delmise is pretty easy to envision. Because Mega Delmise is just the moss has taken over a whole ship. Right? Like, Mega Delmise is just... the moss is covering a whole ship now. Bada bing, bada boom. Or I guess you could go with something else. A Delmise... yeah, I just thought of a regional variant instead. I was gonna say, what if it, like, took over a plane? But that'd be more like a regional variant, or like a convergent form. No, I think a regional variant. What was it called? Mega Delmise, where it's taken over the whole ship. I guess maybe that would be a bad idea, though, now that I think about it. Because that's more like a Delmise evolution than a Mega Evolution, right? Like, that's like the issue. Is, when you're making a Mega Evolution, you're kind of like walking like a tight rope. You don't want to make an evolution, but you don't want to make it not change enough. You know? You don't want to make a whole ass evolution for the Pokemon, but you don't want to make, like, a Pokemon that's too similar to the base form. You know? That's, like, the issue with designing Mega Evolutions, I find. I guess it could be more, like, focusing on the chains of the anchor. Your only mistake is Delmise is perfect the way that it is. True! True, actually. I can't believe I forgot that. How stupid of me. I guess the issue is why would a Delmise be in Lumio City? Like, that's, like, the interesting thing that's gonna happen with the Pokemon C to A Pokedex. Is, like, is Skrelp and Clauncher gonna be in the Pokedex if it's set entirely within Lumios? Because why would they be in, like, the estuaries and stuff? Again, I'm very interested to see what the Pokedex is going to look like. I feel like Mega Minior is a simple one. Mega Minior is a comet. Minior is a shooting star. Mega Minior is a comet. which means that, like, it's got the big, like, comet trail and stuff. And now, it's ice flying. Now it's ice flying type. I guess maybe it's rock and ice. No, ice and flying, I think, has less weaknesses. Has less quad weaknesses. Because ice is weak to fire, fighting, which is now negated. Oh yeah, ice is weak to fire, fighting, which is now negated. Steel, which I don't think is negated. And rock, which is now quad. Maybe it shouldn't be an ice type. Maybe an ice type is a bad idea. That's the issue with ice, is it just has so many weaknesses. What would be a good ice type? Like, what combination with ice would you have to be? Okay, so ice is weak to fire, fighting, rock, and steel. And resists itself. Ice steel obviously becomes a kind of type, because steel shares a lot of ice's weaknesses. I mean, 2 of ice's weaknesses. And then it resists the rest, which means that they're just neutral now. But it's got 2 quad weaknesses, so that's not great. It's like, where do we go from? No, come on, no, stop that. Play ball, please. Thank you. So I'm just trying to bring that across to my second screen so I can, like, look at the ice type while I'm doing this. So yeah, like, we'd probably want to negate a couple of those weaknesses and not share any of them. But that's the issue with ice, is, like, those weaknesses are common weaknesses. So it's hard to get a type with, like, none of those weaknesses. Like, fire is weak to rock. Water is weak to none of them. Electric is weak to none of them. I guess ice... Yeah, but electric doesn't have that many resistances, does it? Electric resists itself, flying, and steel. So that's 1 weakness negated. And only 1 weakness gained, I guess? But does ice... No, ice only resists itself. What the fuck's up with that? Why does ice only resist itself? This is why ice is such a shit type. Because it's got 4 weaknesses and 1 resistance. They're not balanced out. Like, ice is super effective against 4 different types, to be fair. It's super effective against ice, not ice, grass, ground, flying, and dragon. Dragon being a big one. But it's resisted by 1, 2, 3, 4 types as well. So that kind of, like, negates that out. But, like, fighting's super effective against 4 types. But fighting, like, isn't... Fighting's weak to... Okay, fighting's weak to 3 types, but it's got 3 resistances, you know? Ice is cool. Ice is cool, and that's why it's annoying that it's such a shit type. Like, I agree. Ice is cool. There are a lot of cool ice types, but ice as a type is such a shit one. It's not a good type. Which is why I'm trying to figure out how to make it good. Okay. So ice is weak to fire. I don't really think we can get much that resists fire and doesn't cause more problems. So we'll keep that weakness to fire. For this hypothetical ice type. Okay, weak to fighting. Poison resists fighting. Do we have anything, like, resists multiple of ice's weaknesses other than, like, steel? Because steel is weak to multiple of ice's weaknesses as well. Hey, what does ghost resist? Because obviously it resists fighting. And bug? Ghost resists bug? Yeah, possibly a steel ice type. No, but steel ice type becomes quad weak to fire and fighting. Which aren't all that rare types. Like, that's 2 quad weaknesses. I'm trying to make an ice type that doesn't have multiple... Yeah, I know we have ice ghost. We have an ice steel type as well, because we have, Other than Sandslash. I'm just trying to figure out what the best Ice-type combination is. I'm not, like, trying to make a new Ice-type combination. I'm just trying to figure out what the best is. What's, like, the most... What type combination salvages Ice-type the most? And it's not Steel. Yeah, but it's not good. As in, Ice Ghost isn't? Yeah, no, Ice Ghost isn't that good. I was just wondering because it's entirely immune to fighting, which takes away one of Ice's weaknesses entirely. But it doesn't really do much else for it. Like, there are a lot of types that resist fighting. Flying isn't really one you want. Poison? I think a Metagross, but Ice could be really good. Wait, why are we bringing up Metagross? Wait, okay, yeah, Poison is weak against Ground and Psychic. But that would just add 2 weaknesses. That wouldn't add any more resistances, you know? Like, Ice would now resist fighting. But it wouldn't really do much else for it. If Metagross was an Ice type, that's what I think would be good. Wait, why Metagross specifically? Like, the issue is Ice doesn't really have any types it gels well with and doesn't just make a new quad weakness. Because either it's weak to a bunch of different types or it's quad weak to a couple of types. One of the best steel type forests. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. I see what you mean now. Alright. Yeah, Steel's the main type that resists multiple of Ice type's weaknesses. But the issue is like, on the same page, it... Like, most Ice type... Most types that resist a bunch of Ice type weaknesses are then weak to a bunch of others. We look at Sandslash, not very threatening. Yeah, Sandslash isn't the most threatening dude. It is spiky though. Alright. Yeah, Rock resists multiple. But does it? Maybe it doesn't. Leave him alone, OMG, he's trying his best. Alright, because like flying is quite weak to rock. Psychic just doesn't have that many resistances. Bug is weak to fire and rock. Fairy is weak to steel. That would be a quad steel weakness. An ice fairy type would have a quad steel weakness. That is interesting. I never even considered that. All this to say, I don't think Minccino should be an ice rock type in a Mega Evolution or an ice flying type. It should be neither of those. It should just keep its rock flying type. A Comet Minccino would look cool all the same though. I feel like Palisand would be another cool Mega Evolution because like it would become like a bigger castle, I think. And that could be cool. But then again, I guess nothing would really be added to Palisand. Like, I guess it would have the extra stats, but you wouldn't really want to change its weakness, because its weakness makes it immune to water types, right? No. It doesn't resist water types. It's still weak to water moves, it just boosts its defense when it gets hit by a water type attack. Mega Beware would be cool, or Mega Lorantis. Those would both go hard. Mega Araquanid could be cool as well, actually, because it could get more of its bubbles. Like, I think, like, a Mega Araquanid would be interesting, because I'd imagine it would, like, get more of its bubbles somehow. Like, it would have, like, the bubble over its head. Maybe it'd have, like, bubbles on its feet or something. Or maybe it would be entirely within the bubble. Mega Araquanid, like, is surrounded by a bubble. Like, its entire body is just surrounded by a bubble. Keeps Water Bubble as its ability. And then, like, that skyrockets its defenses even higher, but maybe, like, gives it more attack. Maybe even... No, I don't think we'd want to reduce Araquanid's speed. But it'd give it a bit higher defenses and higher attack, I think. Because attacks is, like, good stat. I guess it could... I'm now realizing Araquanid's stat line is kind of eh. But I guess that's why Araquanid is one of the Pokemon that could do with a Mega Evolution. I still think Drampa and Turtonator are my top picks for Alolan Pokemon to get Megas. Komodo probably would get one, but Drampa and Turtonator are my top picks. And then Minior. Minior's my other top pick for a Mega, for an Alolan Mega. And then for, like, Kalos Megas, I could see, like, Mega Pangoro. I don't think we need Mega Aegislash. Aegislash, I think, already has enough going on that it doesn't need a Mega Evolution, is my hot take. Like, Aegislash is fine as it is. Doesn't need a Mega. So I'd say Pyroar, Pangoro, maybe Meowstic? Maybe. Not sure on Meowstic, actually. I guess Mega Talonflame would be interesting, but again, I'm not really sure it needs a Mega. I think my, like, biggest hope is we get, like, at least one regional variant that gets a new Mega Evolution along with it. But I guess we'll have to see with regional variants. I mean, I guess it depends when the game takes place. Because if it takes place in the future, maybe we could start seeing the first few, like, Robo-Pokemon. And they'd just be variants instead of Paradoxmons. Now that we know the Paradoxmons are just straight up from the past and future. I think that was, like, the funniest, like, roundabout thing. Oh, Mega Mudsdale, actually. Mega Mudsdale would go hard. Mega Lycanroc, I feel like, would be a pretty cool one as well. Crabominable would be a nice one. Let's go to Gen 6. Get past all the Megas. There are a lot of them. Alright. Do you guys think we should get Mega Greninja? Or do you think Mega Greninja should be Ash Greninja? I hope Ash Greninja comes back in, Z to A. Like, I hope Battle Bond Greninja just becomes Ash Greninja again. It's more difficult to think of Pokemon that don't need a Mega. That is true. I don't know. I'd say Pokemon that don't need a Mega. Aegislash doesn't. I'm kind of adamant. Aegislash doesn't. I think Aegislash already has enough going on. That it doesn't need a Mega Evolution. Oricorio isn't that good of a Pokemon, but I'd say it doesn't need a Mega, you know? Like, again, like, Pokemon with, like, multiple forms and stuff, I feel like those tend to not really need Megas. IMO. Like, I feel like they're not really all that necessary. Oh, Mega Malamar, that's a true point. Oh, we're totally getting Mega Goodra. I just realized. Dude, we're definitely getting Mega Goodra. I just want to look back at Gen 7 and see what Pokemon I wouldn't give a Mega of Gen 7. Other than Oricorio. Wishy-washy. I mean, could give Mega Mini or a broken ability instead if it was an ice type. That is true. I don't know, I'm still thinking... I guess Shields Down wouldn't make as much sense for Minior, though, if it were a Comet instead. Mega Lurantis, please show it to me. Yeah, Mega Lurantis would go hard. Dominic, hello, how goes it? I hope you've been well. We're shiny hunting for Minccino today. I was kind of thinking something like Thick Fat. Oh, but like rock type. Rocky. Yeah. I mean, comets, what are comets known for? Comets are known for, like, constantly losing mass. And being pretty fast. So maybe it gets, like, a version of Shields Down that means it's really tanky until it gets hit by a super effective hit, at which point it gains a bunch of speed and a bunch of attack. Like... thinking like Shell Smash, where when it gets hit by a super effective attack, it gets lower defenses, but like higher speed and attack. Got something great today. It's a Jada Toys 1/24 scale kit from Knight Rider. Oh hell yeah, 1/24 is quite big. Don't like Wonder Guard. I guess that would be good on an ice. It wouldn't be that good on an ice type. Who am I kidding? Ice type's got too many weaknesses for it to be good on an ice type. You might as well just not give it Wonder Guard. And just give it anything else. It'd still probably be one shot by, like, most things. But yeah, Wishy-Washy I wouldn't give a Mega. Mimikyu I'd say I wouldn't give a Mega. I guess I could see what Mega Mimikyu would look like in my head. You know, I could imagine a Mega Mimikyu, because it'd be, like, unveiling what's beneath the cloak. But I'm unsure it would be, like, needed, you know? Maybe more like Disguise? Or Shadow Shield. I don't know, I feel like, like, I feel like we should stick to the lore with it instead of just being something like... I mean, I guess I'm the one who came up with the Comet lore. Like, imagine a Mega Minior that's just a fucking asteroid. Imagine a Mega Minior that's Fire Rock type, because it's now an asteroid entering the atmosphere. And it keeps... or maybe gets a new version of Shields Down. I guess Fire Rock type isn't that much better. Wait, no, it gets a new version... It gets a new version of Shields Down that's basically it, like, colliding with the planet. That makes it fire flying. So it starts off as rock flying, and then its Shields Down ability, much like how Shields Down is showing, like, the outside of the meteor crumbling away, is like the asteroid colliding with the planet, so it's superheating itself and becoming fire flying. As well as, like, bolstering its stats. So it's, like, basically got two mega forms. It's got one that's, like, a giant fuck-off asteroid. And then it's got one underneath that's, like, the asteroid's, like, molten core. As it's colliding with the planet and becoming... magma. So it's got, like, supercharged defenses in its first form. It's kind of like a Zen mode thing, but instead of, like, changing from attack to special attack, it changes from defensive to, offensive. Which I guess is kind of like Minior already, right? Let me check. Where's the Minior? Minior. Oh yeah, I never realized that. Minior actually gains 60 stat points in its Shields Down form. I didn't realize they were, like, that different. Yeah, basically it's attack and defense switches and it gains 60 speed. So, like, similar, but maybe, like, a bit more balanced. I guess if we gave it 20 to each, so it now has 80 attack, 120 defense. No, we should focus on one or the other, I think. Maybe? I mean, yeah, like, an asteroid's, like, a very, like, physical object. So maybe we should, like, focus in on its attack. Kind of like Aegislash, where, like, in its meteor form, maybe it has, like, 140 defense, 140 special defense, 80 attack. Not 80, yeah, 80 attack. And then it goes into its core form, where we're looking at, what was it called? What brainwave am I trying to have? Yeah, where it's got 80 defense, 80 special defense, which is minus 60 from each. So it could have, like, 200 attack, because obviously we're going up from 80. And then maybe, like, our bolstered speed stat. What's Regieleki's speed? Regieleki's speed is straight up 200, so yeah, like, good attack. Focus in on attack rather than, like, making it, like, a mitt. Like, rather than, like, focusing on both. Give it, like, a shitload of speed and, like, tolerable defenses. Because, like, it's not like it'd be weak after you crack open the core of an asteroid. I like Mega Minior. I think Mega Minior would go hard. Again, like, my bet is we'll get a bunch of Gen 6 Megas and we'll get, like, a decent handful of Gen 7 Megas as well. Like, I think those are the two things that's going to happen. Is we get a bunch of Gen 6 Megas and a decent handful of Gen 7 Megas. And then, probably no more than 20, actually. My bet is we won't get more than 20 Megas, maybe even, like, 15. And obviously 3 of those are going to be the Kalos starters. Like, we'll get a handful of Megas, but we won't get loads, because obviously we're going to have a bunch of Megas already in the game. Well, not already in the game, but, like, Megas that already exist. Because we'll get Mega Charizard, Mega Venusaur, Mega Blastoise. I'm sure Mega Absol will be back. Mega Gyarados. We already know Gyarados is in the game, so Gyarados will probably still have its Mega Evolution. I'm certain some people will be hoping for Mega Caesar to stay around. Maybe we'll get Mega Kleavor as well. Just to kind of balance that out. Mega Abomasnow, I'm sure, will come back due to everybody. And everyone will be really happy about that. I don't know. It'd be finally a story for Mega Diancie. That would be cool. Like, what's it called? Like a few layered side quests. Maybe Diancie could be like the Manaphy of the game. Like, having Scarlet and Violet unlocks Hooper Unbound. And having Sword and Shield unlocks Volcanion. And then Diancie's, like, in the game proper. And then, you get, like, a side quest to get Diancie. And then you get another side quest to get its Mega Stone. I'm looking forward to some Volcanion and Hooper lore, too. I mean, we didn't get loads of Darkrai and Shaman lore in the originals, in Legends Arceus, did we, though? Like, I'm not sure how much lore we'd get between them. I can imagine it just being like, hey, there's some, portals. That's not great. Can you sort that out? And then you go and catch Hooper. Rather than anything too complicated. It'd be cool to, like, see what kind of quests they could cook up for Megastones. I hope Megastones aren't just, like, found around as before, and there are, like, actually, like, interesting quests to get them. There are a few interesting quests to get them in Auras and XY, to be fair, but I'd rather, like, a majority of them be gotten through small side quests. You know? rather than a majority of them being found at a certain time of day, randomly on the floor. And then, it's funny, because I saw someone saying, what if we had to craft Megastones and they only had a limited amount of uses? And it's like, that could be the case. Maybe they would do that, but also that feels very inconsistent with the Mega Evolution lore that already exists. Like, sure, that's an intriguing idea and concept. I don't think it works with what Mega Evolutions actually are, though. But it'll be interesting to see how Megas are in the game. Like, I'm guessing whatever the first trailer is will showcase at least one new Mega. So I guess that'll be a good thing to sit tight for. My prediction is the final trailer we get will be like the final trailer that showed us about the Hisuian starters. Like, the final trailer for the game showed us the Hisuian starters. It didn't show us them, but it kind of like foreshadowed the fact they existed. My prediction is the final trailer for Legend Zeta A will show us Delphox, Greninja, and Chestnut Mega Evolving. It won't show us the Mega Evolution, but it'll show like them being like encapsulated in the rock. It'd be cool if they gave Xerneas and Yveltal primal forms, but then next generation they kept them. And then Primal Groudon and Kyogre came back as well. I don't know. I'm forever salty about Primal Groudon and Kyogre. I know they're incredibly fucking busted and more or less are a mainstay on VGC teams. And Groudon and Kyogre are a mainstay on VGC teams as is. But, like, Primal Groudon and Kyogre were, like, very much meta-defining creatures. But like, that was their new forms. That was their new forms for their new games. You know? Like, Dialga and Palkia got brand new forms and they got to keep theirs. Like, Groudon and Kyogre got a whole lot of new, like, world-rending abilities and forms. And the Pokemon Company were like, well, you can keep the moves. You got new moves, those can stay. The forms, nah. The moves, yeah, you can keep those. Like, Zygarde got, like, a brand new fucking form. Like, the next generation. And it got to keep that. Like, it's a shame to me, like, Ogerpon's forms were very linked to terrestrialization, so I feel like those aren't as big of a deal. But, like, Terrapagos gonna lose its form when terrestrialization isn't a thing anymore. Obviously, the Urshifus lost their forms. Eternatus never really had it. Some pokes are just built different, I guess. Yeah. It's just a shame because Groudon and Kyogre should be the built different ones. And if Mega Evolution isn't a thing we're focusing on anymore, that's fine, that's fine. Primal Reversion doesn't even need a keystone, it just needs the red and blue orbs. You know? Like, Primal Reversion is just a thing they can do if they have the correct orbs. There's no, like, indication the keystone's necessary for that, right? But no, Groudon and Kyogre just lost it. Like, to be fair, Rayquaza also has, like, its Mega Evolution that it lost. But who cares about that? I care about Groudon and Kyogre. Like, it's nice they got to keep their signature moves at least. Because obviously, like, any semblance of signature move kind of got stripped away from them. Because they kind of had them and then they lost them. But, like, they got their new forms and they looked cool. Like, Primal Groudon and Kyogre are genuinely such awesome-looking forms, and now they're just kind of gone. And I'm guessing they're gone until the next Legends game. Until the next, like, Hoenn-based Legends game. Because I doubt we're going to get Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza in Zeta A. Because Legends Arceus didn't really add in any extra Pokemon that weren't in the originals, you know? Like, the only reason Scarlet and Violet have extra Pokemon that aren't in the base game, that aren't catchable in the base game, is, I assume at least, just because they're the main game of the generation, they're the game you're meant to keep coming back to, which means they want people to be able to transfer more of their favorite Pokemon into those games. Only one, I guess, an Amoris. But that's not... An Amoris is catchable in Legends Arceus. In fact, that's where an Amoris is only catchable. Yeah, but it was added. But no, what I'm saying is there are no Pokemon in Legends Arceus not catchable in the base game that you can transfer in. There are no Pokemon in Legends Arceus that aren't in the Legends Arceus Pokédex. Every Pokemon in Legends Arceus is in the Pokédex. Like, in Scarlet and Violet, for example, an Amoris is in it. Regice and the other Regis are all in it, even though they aren't catchable. Like, there are loads of Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet you can't catch, but they're in the game. Legends Arceus, however, only lets Pokemon in its Pokédex into the game. And I'm guessing a Legends Zeta A would be similar, so Pokemon like Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza, and Mewtwo and stuff won't be transferable in, because they're not available, because I assume, unless it's set in the future, then maybe Mewtwo will be, but I assume it won't be available, they won't be available, like, in the Pokédex just to catch regularly, unless there's some, like, fuckery going on. So, like, I doubt we'll see the return of Primals in Zeta A, is what I mean. I might rewatch some of the Legends Arceus the Legends Arceus trailers later on, just to figure out what maybe we could end up expecting to see when we actually get new news for Zeta A. It's going to be nice when my hype for these games die down. Because, like, this is easily the most excited I've been for a new Pokemon game, I think. Like, the issue with Scarlet and Violet was, like, the state of Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus made me apprehensive off the bat. You know? Like, I didn't think we should have gotten a new generation in 2022. And, bluntly put, there was nothing that really said we should have. That there was... Scarlet and Violet failed to justify a reason to come out in 2022. But, like, with the later release date, the ambiguity of the announcement, how out of left field a new game in Kalos is. Like, this is... I think I'm more excited for this than I was for Legends Arceus. Like... as in off the initial trailer. Because, I mean, I think it doesn't help that Legends Arceus wasn't announced alone. Like, Legends Arceus was announced beside, Legends Arceus was announced beside BDSP, and I think additionally the other thing that probably didn't help was I was streaming Minecraft at the time, which my time and effort was on Minecraft rather than Pokemon, which meant that Minecraft, like... right now I'm playing Pokemon, so I'm thinking about Pokemon. If that makes sense. Which is probably helping me, like, be excited. But yeah, like, Scarlet and Violet, I think I wasn't excited for Scarlet and Violet until about 3 weeks before the game's released. At which point I was like, there's a new Pokemon game coming out. And then I started getting really excited. But, before then, I wasn't all that excited because, like, I was like, oh, we're getting a new Pokemon, that's cool. But, like, I very much felt like it was too early for a new Pokemon. Z to A coming out in 2025, I feel like doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have more development time. Legends Arceus came out in 2022. These games will have... Which means that these games could still have a 3-year production cycle. There's no guarantee they won't. That won't be what's happening. Especially if they release towards the beginning of the year rather than towards the end of the year. Obviously, Game Freak have a habit of releasing a bit behind new Nintendo consoles. There's not really been a precedent for a new Game Freak game to come out on a new Nintendo console the year it releases. Black and White 2 released... In fact, I think Emerald released when the DS was already around, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure Emerald released after the DS. Black and White 2 released after the 3DS. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon released after the Switch. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I'd say it's not off the table for Z to A to release after whatever's after the Switch releases. Like, especially if they know that's the only thing coming out that year, I could see a high chance of it being the only holiday, like them going for the holiday release instead. But also it seems very early to announce a game coming out holiday 2025 for the Pokemon Company. Like, the only reason I could see for them to announce it now, if it's coming out Christmas 2025, well, like holiday 2025, late November, is if they just really wanted an announcement, a big announcement for the Presents this year. Which I feel like they needn't chain themselves to that idea. So my prediction is it'll come out halfway through 2025. Obviously, there's every chance. If it releases in January 2025, I think there's a higher chance of a Gen 10. If it releases after February 2025, I don't think Gen 10 will be until 2026. Is my hot take. Because if it releases before the Pokemon Presents of 2025, then they can still do a big announcement. But if they announce a new game when there's still a build-up for another game, they risk taking the hype away from the game they're about to release. Like, new generations always do brilliantly. As is shown by Scarlet and Violet doing as well as they have. The first game of a new generation always does great. The first game of a console sells the best, but then a new game of a new generation will always sell well. As in the first game of a new generation on a new console, so Sword and Shield, X and Y, Diamond and Pearl, those will always sell really, really well, and then a new generation will still sell absolutely great. Wait, Sun and Moon didn't sell more than X and Y, did it? Where's the... Here it is. Because I'm now realizing I'm going to be talking out my ass. Yeah, X and Y... Wait. This is in release order. Yeah, X and Y sold more than Sun and Moon. Not that many more, to be fair. It was only about 0.3 million more. But, and then Sword and Shield has sold about 3 million more than Scarlet and Violet up till this point. And then Diamond and Pearl sold 17 million. Black and White sold 15 million. Yeah, so, like, the first game on a new console of a new generation always sells like hotcakes. So announcing a new generation when a new game is just about to come out, especially since Gen 10 will probably be on the new Nintendo console, you're more or less like shooting Zeta A in the head. Like, you're fucking its sales over, no matter what. Whereas if you... So, I don't... Like, Legends Arceus' sales were probably fucked over by not just releasing in January, but by Scarlet and Violet being announced. Like, Legends Arceus sold about 12 million, which is less than BDSP. And I think Legends Arceus would have sold better if Scarlet and Violet didn't release that year. I think Legends Arceus would have had a good holiday season, and it would have outsold BDSP. Maybe not by a lot, but I think it would have outsold BDSP. Even if it didn't get DLC. So I think if Legends Zeta A releases in January, there's a decently high chance we still get Gen 10 in 2025. I hope we don't, but I feel like it's pointless. We're only 15 away from 4K. I'm gonna go to 4K today, and then I'll do Pokidoku. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see when it's, like, announced to release. Again, I think we're gonna get the first trailer for Zeta A in September, and that'll be when we get the release date confirmed. That's my prediction. That's the CahirLIVE prediction. Is first trailer for Zeta A, first actual trailer for Zeta A is going to arrive in September. At some point in September, we're going to get a Pokemon Presents with a new trailer, and it's going to be then, and it's not going to be before then. I'd like to be wrong, to be clear. Being wrong would be pretty cool. But any other games you hype for at the moment? No, actually. Gonna be real, I don't think there are. Greg Tower Defense already released. So that was like my big... That was probably the game that I was like most hyped for to release. Like, there's not really any franchises at the moment that I'm like interested in doing new stuff. Nor are there any like new franchises doing anything interesting that I got an eye on, you know? Like, why are you not excited for Princess Peach Showtime? I don't know. I don't know why, really. Like, it seems like it could be a cool game. You know? Like, it looks like the kind of, like, Nintendo experimentation. Despicable behavior. Never play her in Mario Kart again. No! The council have revoked her from me! I cannot legally play her in Mario Kart again. I'm just not allowed to anymore. This is dismal. But I don't know. Yeah, I like. There's no Fire Emblem game coming out soon. Obviously Tears of the Kingdom, that's been and gone. What other franchises am I, like, generally interested in? The new Minecraft update seems, like, alright, but I'm not, like, creaming over it. I like the look of that platformer game where, like, you got those, like, homunculi spirits defending you. That looked cool. That game looked pretty cool. I'll give it that. But, in, like, the grand scheme of things, there aren't that many games that I'm looking forward to at the moment. But I feel like that's generally my attitude at this time of the year. You know? Like, last year, the main thing I was probably looking forward to was Tears of the Kingdom. Like, my gaming interest does not go that vast. Like, I play a lot of video games, but... Oh, I'm looking forward to Minccino and Genshin. That's the thing I'm looking... Well, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Minccino releasing Genshin. That's going to be hype. She is very cool, and I'm looking forward to her being released. I'll be keeping a firm eye on leaks. But yeah, there's not been much announced yet at the moment. Like, I wonder if we will get a Nintendo Direct at any point this year. Like, people were saying there was going to be a Fire Emblem Genealogy the Holy War remake, but... not really heard any echoes of that. So... oh, 4 encounters away. Like... yeah, there's just not much buzzing around at the moment. Maybe 1000 Year Door, but I played it already. Yeah, I'm not all that hyped for a new Paper Mario game. Mario RPG was, like, the one that kind of grabbed me, because, like, Mario RPG is a very, like, interesting concept to me. Like, it was the first foray into RPGs for the Mario franchise. I still haven't played that, I'll be honest. Like... yeah, there's just not all that much. Trying to think of stuff I am actually excited for in, like, the coming weeks. I don't know. I don't think, like, I need media to be exciting to, like, keep me going. Bluntly put. Like, it's not like there not being much to be hyped for is, like, a thing that I'm that devastated by. New Witch Hat Atelier anime should be coming out this year. And that's going to be peak, because Witch Hat Atelier is peak. Not relatable, sadly. Fair enough. Obviously, we've not had, like, the JoJo Steel Ball Run anime announced yet, but that's probably on the horizon. Because JoJo's Part 6 wrapped up, what, 2 years ago at this point? No, over a year. Over a year, I think. Not 2 years yet, just over a year. So Steel Ball Run anime will be hyped if that gets announced. I guess there's no guarantee. Other than that, all right. That was it. 4K, 4,000 encounters for the chinchilla. That we can't actually catch. If we get that thing, we just get to look at it for a bit. That's it. But I find that funny, so it's fine. What's it called? Yeah, that and that. Okay, yeah, it's a bit too thin at the moment. I need to... whoop, there we go. Okay. Pokidoku for the day. Let's poke some dokus and then we can end off. Alright. I hope they do the Devil May Cry anime justice. That first one was horrid. Oh no. Well yeah, hopefully they do then. Alright. Pokidoku. Legendary, no evolution line, evolved by item, Paldea, ground and ice. Interesting. Okay, evolved by item. Part of me wants to say Titan, but I'm going to say Belly Ball instead. Yeah! Oh! 7.9, that's pretty high, actually. Alright, no evolution line. You're back. Welcome back, Mango. I hope your going and coming back went well. I'm trying to figure out if a Paradox Pokemon would be better to put in no evolution line, Or, like, another Pokemon with no evolution line. Because, like, there are a lot of Paradox Pokemon, you know? Yeah, you got back just in time for Pokedoku, Mango. I'm trying to think of, like, what's the nichest Paradox Pokemon? Because it's not going to be Iron Valiant or Roaring Moon. You just had some business to take care of? Interesting. Paldean Legendary couldn't possibly be Mr. Basculin. Oh, maybe, actually. Maybe. But yeah, like, I feel like a Paradox Pokemon's probably where I'm going to want to go with this. Because, like, one of which was the guy you talked about. Let's just say he won't be bothering you anymore. Who's the guy I talked about again? I can't remember. Did you erase him from the timeline, Mango? Alright, other Pokemon in Paldea with no evolution line. Because there have got to be more. But what are they, and would they be niche? Veluza? Oh, maybe. He was very annoying. I'm genuinely so unsure who you're talking about right now. Veluza? Fuck, the bud! Oh, it's the bud. Oh no, I can imagine the bud. Shit. No, okay. Come on, Cahir. You can remember the name of the bird. I keep on going to Toucan and I don't know why. Squawkabilly! Let's go Squawkabilly Yellow. 1.2! Gosh! They might be lower because of, like, the 15 Paradox Pokemon, but I'm still proud that I remembered Squawkabilly's name. Alright, legendary Pokemon from Paldea. I'm going to guess Monkey Dory. 3.8, that's pretty fucking good. Alright, Ground-type legendaries and Ice-type legendaries. No evolution line ground types and no evolution line ice types. And evolved by item ground types and evolved by item ice types. I'm gonna go Titan here. Yeah, because it's gonna be pretty low. Because it's also available for the top category. And then evolved by item ground types. Obviously Gliscor counts in that, I think. But I feel like Gliscor would be one that people would think of. Also, Ursaluna. Although Ursaluna scored pretty high last time, didn't it? 10%?! People know what Ursaluna is now. Shit! That was always my go-to. Everybody remembers Ursaluna these days. Okay. No evolution line ground types and legendary ground types. Obviously, Iron Treads and Great Tusk count as no evolution line ground types, but I'm wondering if I should even go with that, or if I should go with something more interesting. Hacker, there is no longer the Kismart. No. Okay, what's it called? Ground types with no evolution line. No evolution line and legendary are two very awkward final categories. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. Okay, Delibird technically counts as ice type with no evolution line, but I feel like that's a bad choice for that. I need no evolution line ice types in Gala or maybe like a Alola? There aren't that many ice types in Alola, so I don't think no evolution line ice types are in Alola. which maybe means Gala's the way to go? There aren't that many ice types in Gala either. Pincurchin isn't an ice type. And then there's like Snom and Gala Darmanitan, and neither of those are really good options there. And also Mr. Rhyme Duraludon is an ice. No evolution line ice types. What about Gen 5? Obviously there's Vanillish. Oh, the Curums might do well there. If I go with, like, White Curum, that could be a decent chance. But I feel like it's not that high of a chance, because there's only 3 of them. And maybe I should put that in the Legendary category rather than anywhere else, you know? I'm going to put Calyrex Ice into the Ice-type Legendaries. 8.5, I feel like that's high. I'm going to be honest. I think people are starting to catch on to the lesser guessed Pokemon. Ground-type Legendaries. Zygarde, obviously, all 3 of them. But I feel like people are going to be thinking of Zygarde at the moment. Don't know why. Just a gut feeling. Obviously, no ground-type Reggie. Any ground-types from Unova? Don't believe so. Oh, Landorus. But Landorus is pretty popular. I'd say I'd skip to a Alola next, but there are no ground-type legendaries in Alola, I don't believe. Which brings me across to Gala, which doesn't have that many legendaries. Believe Ting-Lu is ground-type. I'm going to put Ting-Lu. 8.6. Either these are low in their categories, or people are starting to clock on. Or people are starting to clock on to, like, lesser thought of legendaries, which, is kind of fucking my score and cramping my style here, so I'm not chuffed about that. Alright, ground types with no evolution line. Obviously, Orthworm is not one of those. Orthworm is very much not one of those. Oh, Felix? Maybe you don't know your ground Pokemons as well as you're like, I know my ground Pokemons. Ground types in... No, I got this. No, I got this. I mean, yeah, Iron Treads and Great Tusk both come to mind with, like, no evolution line ground types. But I'm not sure if those would be, common... Wait, is Sandy Shock's ground type, or is Sandy Shock's rock type? Don't answer that. Sandy Shock's might be ground type. Felix, a Ting-Lu and Calyrex, are those scores low or are those high? Like, am I fumbling with Pokemon that would normally do low but are now getting higher? Or am I actually doing well? Because, like, Ting-Lu and Calyrex Ice, low, I think. You think? Okay, now I don't want to take the risk on Sandy Shocks. Alolan ground types with no evolution line. There have got to be a couple, like, no Pokemon in Alola have evolution lines. The only one I can think of right now is Mudsdale, though. I don't believe there are any ground type Ultra Beasts. I don't think there are any ice type Ultra Beasts either, actually. It's weird how Ultra Beasts seem to, like, take place in a very specific subsect of types. These are both no evolution lines, though. Like, middle in the ranking, but much closer to lowest and highest. Okay. Interesting. And Ursaluna? Why am I pulling blanks on ground types so much? Like, Ting-Lu is technically one. Other than that, the Zygardes, but they're going to do very well, because... Also middle. Yeah, I've been fumbling this. Like, I've not been fumbling this one, but, like, I have, like... I've not been fumbling this one literally, but I've been fumbling this one in the sense that, like, a lot of Pokemon that normally get close to the bottom are getting close to the middle today, which is weird. Like, have just not as many people done this one, or are people getting smarter? To Fumbler. What ground types are there in Galar? There's obviously Galarian Mask. Octobish. 1% Octobish. That's I'm kind of proud of that answer. All right, ground type. We could do this. We can get a ground type. We can get a good ground type. Good ground type. All right. None of those fossil guys are ground type, so I can't really go back to that. I think you said a lot of ground when you were clearly thinking ice. I was going to say, don't forget your favorite fossils. Yeah, no, those are good answers. I was thinking ground, but then I thought about ice for a bit, because you got to keep the brain fresh, you know? Alright, single stage ground types, single stage ground types, single stage ground types, single stage ground types. I feel like most ground types evolve. Icy ground, but that would be not Palisade. Mamoswine. Which doesn't work in this case. Water ground types are like Quagsire and stuff like that, but they're dual types, not dual types. They evolve, is what I'm trying to say. Is there only one icy ground? Maybe? Any in Hoenn? Ground types in Hoenn. Obviously Swampert and Marshtomp, but they aren't really counting there. Nincada, which evolves. This is a hard one. I might just put Sandy Shocks to get it over. No, wait, Sandy Shocks can't. I don't want to alarm you, but there's a fish on my cursor. What the fuck? No, he's a friend. 3.8, I'll take it. My uniqueness was 48. The max was 36. That's actually pretty good. Oh, Zygarde got pretty low. Okay. Wait a minute! I was like, Zygarde's definitely going to be the highest here. And all three are at the bottom? Bro, your game just got announced. What the fuck are you doing? Ursaluna Blood Moon was the lowest here. I didn't realize that was going to count there. 2 more Zygardes at the bottom. Why is Zygarde at the bottom of these all? Okay, Sandy Shocks is ground type, but Iron Treads did better than it, so I'm glad I didn't risk it. There was none that I didn't really think of before. I forgot about Stunfisk, but they all scored higher than Iron Treads. Ursaluna got 10%. Golem got lower. What the fuck? Arctovish was the lowest there. Glastrier was the lowest there, but didn't get that much higher. Both Curums got lower, though, and I was saying I didn't want to go for the Curum. Shenpao got higher. Ogerpon Hearthline got the lowest there, as it fucking always does, but that wasn't much worse than the Dory. Iron Leaves got the lowest there. I got a Pokemon... Did I get the fucking highest answer, or what? Where's my answer? In the middle. Okay, I did alright. I should have gone with the Tatsugiri. Or just regular Squawkabilly, I guess. Okay. 45 there. Oh, I wasn't that high off. It was 49, Felix. You have not updated your profile picture. I have not, no. I need to. It's my Google account. We literally drew. Yo, what the hell? If only I'd gone for Crabominable, I guess. Still though, I did pretty well there, I'll be honest, I'll be real. There were better things I could have done, like I guess I'll think of Ursaluna not doing all the best these days, because it's kind of bad, I should have gone with Golem. But, all in all, I did pretty solid. But yeah, thank you all for coming. We finally hit 4K on the Minccino, which is pretty hype. I didn't expect to actually get it this stream. Next stream, I think we'll be doing Cleavor again. I want to do a few more hunts before I go into another big long project that the Krogunk will be. We didn't get that Cleavor, and I do want to get that Cleavor. So we're going to try again with that Cleavor. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you all had a great time. I certainly have. And I will see you all on Wednesday for our new series, Pokemon Legends Arceus, but we can only use baby Pokemon. I will see you all there. Goodbye and good night.